Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadan Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Bimadadakum wa nazarakum Sayyidi ya Rasul Kareem ya Habibul Azim. Madad ya Sayyidi ya Sultan al-Awliya Shaykh Abdul Faiz al-Dagestani, Sultan Shaykh Muhammad Nazim al-Haqqani, Sultan al-Qulubina Mawlana Shaykh Hisham Kabbani Madad al-Haqq Hujjatullahi al-Mukhlas. Ana a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ati Allah, Ati Rasul, wa ulul amri minkum. Can you hear me back there? Can you hear or no? Little bit? Hello? Okay, good. You got to yell. InshaAllah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wa Ati Allah, Ati Rasul, wa ulul amri minkum. And always a reminder from myself, Ana abdukal ajizu da'ifu miskeen zalim jahal, and by the grace of Allah that I'm still in existence. We took a path in which to try our best to be nothing, and that Allah's rahmah and mercy to be upon us and to give us entry into the oceans of rahmah. We talked last night on the realities of the heart, the lataifs of the heart, the levels of the heart, the 6 powers of the heart, and always a reminder for myself that this way, like a secret, that this hadith al-Qudsi that we talked about last night, where Prophet revealed from Allah that when my servant completes all their obligations and then approaches me through voluntary worshipness, and Allah grant that servant sincerity, I become the hearing in which he hears, I become the seeing in which he sees, I become the breath in which he breathes, I become the hands in which he touches, and I become the feet in which he moves. And pious people come into our life and they want us to achieve what Allah wants to grant to us. I want you to reach sincerity, and through that sincerity I will unlock a Divinely power upon you. The soul is from the heavens, Divinely lights. If you can hear with your soul, see with your soul, breathe from your soul, speak from your soul, touch from your soul, move with the qadam of your soul, it's ilahi, it's Divinely heavenly reality. And Allah says, I grant it to you. If you come with voluntary worship, means you do the obligations and we add upon it things from love. Nobody's forced to come tonight. We have to make our namaz, this is Allah's orders for us. But the things you do and express out of love, Allah holds tremendous weight to that love, because it shows you are becoming ashiqeen. That hadith is a description of the highest realities of insan kamil. If Allah give you hearing to hear, what you're going to hear? There's no limit. One who's coming in entry level, Allah may grant a hearing that is astonishing to that person. One whom Allah want to give more, when you say, Allahu Akbar, nobody can put a limit onto it. What Allah want to grant His servant, He grants His servant. Divinely hearing, Divinely seeing. They can see energy, they can see intention, they can see many things. This is only still hatta dunya. And see into the heavens, see into the maqams, there's no space and time for them. Light and this science of light, there's no time in light, Allah has no time, time is this earth. If Allah opens this world of light in which has no time, there's no limitation of space and time for it. You see what Allah wants you to see, means that this vision opens with a tremendous farasul. Those whom past makes no different than those whom are present. If Allah opens the vision through the soul and they're present with them as you are present with your physical body, And the speech from Divinely Presence, a supported speech, their breath with the supported breath, their hands yadallah upon their hands. That Allah said, when your hand, this is the concept of the bayat, is that put your hand onto Sayyidina Muhammad's hand. If your hand is on the hand of Prophet, your character, your akhlaq, everything about you, the Prophet supporting you, Allah's promise, yubayyunaka yubayyunallah, my hand is on your hand. If Prophet willing to take your hand and has that trust and love for you, know that my hand is on your hand is a very supported hand. And as a result of all these faculties, I make sure your qadam is to be on the way of Sirat al-Mustaqeem, because I'm dressing you, blessing you. I did a security check upon you, I've written for you this reality. There's no surprise for Allah. He doesn't grant something, so, oh my gosh what happened yesterday. He already wrote your destiny, He wrote that you're going to achieve that, and by means of everything I've written for you, you will achieve exactly what I want for you. So nothing takes Allah by surprise. You can't move an inch this way and you can't move an inch that way in this ocean of taslim that Allah has written it. So they begin to teach, if we understand this hadith in which Allah want to open, then they come and begin to train. And that's what we talked last night, train your hearing into submission. Don't hear bad, don't hear gossiping, don't hear whispering, don't hear bad sounds, it's dirtying the heart. Train your vision. These eyes, what they see is all deceit, is all deception. We said last night, you can watch one channel for news and the other channel is exactly the opposite, and they're reporting the same story because it's his story. History is his story. Justice is just us. Yeah, so this dunya is a deceit. So they close their eyes to this dunya, they say, oh this is all just lies out of here, what I'm searching for is not from here. Then they begin to understand that this head in submission is the crown of creation, that Allah I want to bestow everything upon you. I want your eyes to see, I want your ears to hear, I want your breath to be powered, I want your speech to be supported. Make your sujood. The sajda is the submission of all these faculties. Then they teach, if this is submitting, then Allah will begin to open the holy heart. And that heart is qalb al-mu'min baytullah. The understanding and the teachings of the qalb, the lataifs of the qalb, the 6 powers of the heart. It's all from the understandings of the house of Allah. It's not something small. When Allah want to open an understanding upon the heart, means the real heart, the heart of belief, He's teaching you about the house of Allah. All the powers that Allah putting upon this real house, that my house will be in the heart of that believer. If all those faculties are submitting and I begin to send that light into their heart, they're seeing from heavenly power, they're hearing from heavenly power, speaking from heavenly power, hands supported by heavenly power, feet moving by heavenly power. Then imagine what type of power is emanating into that heart. And we said last night, the haqiqatul juzba was the reality of attraction. When these lights begin to come into the heart, they begin to inspire the student, perfect yourself, perfect your energy, perfect the iron within your body. The iron of your body is giving you the ability to have energy around you. That's why what you eat and what you drink is going to determine the cleanliness of your iron. And that's why the hijama and the cupping was prescribed by Prophet. Take the dirty blood out of your body at least every 6 months and let your body produce new, clean and fresh blood. And the purity of that blood and the purity of that iron, this is where the energy is coming to, so that their entire body when they begin to purify, we said as a recap from last night, they breathe And Allah begins to describe that this breath that you're bringing in, when it's clean and pure, filled with energy. The breath that you breathe out when you're trained in how to hush dam, how to be conscious of your breath, all the bad character is on your exhale, all the good energy is on your inhale. That's why you don't cover your nose and your mouth. As you breathe out you'll actually be inhaling all your bad energy. You're not saving yourself from infection. Actually shaitan tricking you to put back your bad energy back into your mouth. The bad has to come out and the good goes in. So their nafas and their training is to bring the qudra in, to bring the energy in. As they bring the energy in, Allah begin to show them that this energy you're bringing in is filling your lungs with this power. The lungs are filling upon the blood and upon the iron of that blood, and then your lungs shoot that blood into your heart. So then if this heart is trained and making zikr and this breath is coming in pure, immediately goes into the heart and the heart stamps the blood with dhikrullah. Dhikrullah tatma'inul qulub. The dhikr of Allah brings tranquility to the heart. Beyond tranquility, it purifies the entire blood system of the body. It's in zikr. That zikr then begin to nourish all the essential organs. That's why in their healing they don't worry about other points of the body. The only part, if one part of you is good, all of you good; if one part of you bad, all of you bad. And Prophet taught was the qalb. If the heart is good, you are good. If the heart is bad, you are bad, and there's nothing going to help you. So it means their focus is on the qalb. As soon as they focus on that house of Allah, that blood that powering this body has to come in with zikr of Allah. So then they're continuously making zikr of Allah and durood al-sharif. Salawat on Sayyidina Muhammad is the dhikr of Allah. As soon as you make salawat on Prophet you're saying, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, you're praising Allah. As soon as you want to praise upon Sayyidina Muhammad you are praising upon Allah. So then they give you wazifas and awrads, keep reciting, keep reciting. Why? So that this heart is in continuous zikr of Allah, continuously being stamped by this blood, and all your body going to be nourished. When they nourish their body, their entire body is like a satellite system. Every piece of iron connecting with the hair, and this energy comes and their entire being is capable of pulling in energy. Means that juzba make them to be magnanimous characters, that because of the energy coming upon them they can attract people. People are attracted to them and they don't know why. But it's the energy that coming, later they begin to teach, it's the love of Sayyidina Muhammad upon them. They are the ahbab al-Nabi, the lovers of Prophet. Then we said that when they begin to train tawajjuh, the haqqaiq of tawajjuhs, then they'll train you that these faizes are coming, these blessings are coming. We talked last night about the blessings, that if the reality of attraction is dressing them, you are now attracting the attention and the love of Prophet. If Prophet dressing you, every faiz begins to come your way. So how can you praise upon Prophet because the amal is good? How can you praise upon Prophet and Prophet's light not to be with you? And continuously making salawat on Prophet means then every source of faiz and emanation and barakah and blessings. Imagine blessings just flowing and flowing, that anyone come into the vicinity of you will be dressed by those blessings. These are the teachings of awliyaullah. We're nothing, we ask that we be a donkey for them, that not to be like we're anything. Their teachings and inspirations and reminders for us, you have something to struggle for. This reality you're trying to achieve, these lights that you're trying to achieve, this faiz and blessing begin to dress you, emanation dress you. Then they say they want to open your tawajjuh, your ability to focus. They say that what you're looking for is not outside, what you're looking for is inside. Begin to take the practice of looking into your heart. You go through all the characteristics, all of the things that have to be corrected, when they begin to correct all those things, Allah begin to inspire within their vision that focus on that which never perishes, and that's the reality of the holy face. So we started with this hadith al-Qudsi, and then Allah is guiding into your heart that when the student is ready for haqiqat al-tawajjuh and the reality of the face and where to direct your vision, your spiritual vision, Allah begin to direct you that focus on that which never perishes and the holy face that carries the essence of ihsan. What we described at the beginning, these holy faces, the lights of Allah are upon their ears, the lights upon their eyes, lights upon their breath, lights upon their tongue. Their faces are filled with these Divinely lights. And as a result Allah says, seek out those faces. So then Prophet trained his companions that if you've seen me, you've seen Allah. If you've seen Prophet you have seen Allah. They are the shadows of Allah upon earth, the Prophets. They carry the light of Allah. You have seen the haqq of Allah. How are you going to see the haqq if the Prophet is not carrying the complete haqq of Allah that can be accomplished by insan? Prophet carrying means you've seen the haqq of Allah. If they saw, then told the companions that if anyone sees you they have seen me. Then we understand now the chain. If you've seen my companions you have seen Prophet. So the companions were going and teaching that those whom we love Prophet. We're taking the image and the lights of Prophet's teaching, their ears, their eyes, their tongues, their breath, everything from that light. That light and the love of Sayyidina Muhammad is the love of Allah. قُلْ إِنِ كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحِبُّكُمُ اللَّهُ. If you're following in that way like the companions and ahlul bayt were following, Allah's love be upon you means all this hearing and eyes and breath and tongue is all from the light of haqq. And that light of haqq Allah teaches awliyaullah, focus on that. Focus on the light of haqq, focus on these realities that whatever Allah want to show His servant at that time. Why their tawajjuh is teaching that when they focus and they meditate that the holy face that beginning to dress upon their vision, the lights, and don't want to even describe what that face and what that reality is, that the reflection of awliyaullah is the reflection of Sayyidina Muhammad. As soon as they're ready for that state they begin to, in their tafakkur, in their training, the vision of this face begins to dress upon them. And those lights that Allah described in Hadith al-Qudsi is dressing them, saying that, my hearing upon that soul that you're seeing is now dressing you, my seeing upon that soul is now dressing you, the breath upon that soul that you're seeing is now breathing upon you, the speech from that soul that I described is now speaking to you. Are we getting it? Not confusing anyone? So the hadith was describing in a Divinely way in which Allah is going to release this energy towards insan. Nobody can see Allah directly, nobody can get a vision of Allah. You'd be qashi, you'd be dead. Nabi Musa asked, Ya Rabbi, let me to see you. Very brave. So how you can see me? How you can see me? Let me show you this mountain. If you survive this, we talk. Immediately he went, Allah revealed what He wanted to reveal. He says, I revealed my glory upon the mountain. What's Allah's glory? Awliyaullah and ulama say, the light of Sayyidina Muhammad appeared. The glory of Allah is the most beloved thing of Allah is Sayyidina Muhammad. It was enough for the light of Prophet to appear and Nabi Musa qashya, out. Out. And he came back and renewed his shahada from what he said, Ana awwal al-Muslimin. Means this light that I wanted to see, the reality I wanted to see, it's Nur Muhammad. After seeing that, Ana awwal al-Muslimin means I'm coming under your flag Sayyidina Muhammad. And all the Prophets are under the flag of Sayyidina Muhammad. That was the reality of the Isra, right? Why to make Isra before Miraj? Why to go to Jerusalem? Because Qur'an says, if he comes in your time you're going to be behind him. Imam al-Mursaleen, he's the only Imam for your creation. So Allah sent Prophet and the hadith is that all the Prophets were there gathered to be with Prophet and they prayed our salah and they make their tahiyyat, as-salamu alayka ayyuhan nabi, and they gave their shahada, they completed their faith and Allah brought Prophet to the heavens. So all in the deen of Allah, Islam, that the deen of Allah is Islam and the Prophet of Allah is Sayyidina Muhammad. They saw that light, saw that Divinely face of Prophet dressed by Allah's Hadithul Qudsi. These are Allah's attributes upon the reality of that face. He said, focus on that face, the face that never perishes. Allah has no face. Allah reflects the reality to Prophet. So then this tawajjuh for pious people when they're making their tafakkur and this face is reflecting, whether it's the face of their awliya that are above them, the ulul amr who are governing them, is a reflection of the face of Prophet. When they focus upon that face and they begin to receive these fires upon their face, because Allah wants the light from their ears and the attributes that dressing this face wants it upon that student's face. That these lights I've given to you, dress upon their face, make their face to be holy, raise their nobility, open up these sifats upon their reality. There's 7 holy openings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 holy verses, 7 tawaf around Kaaba, 7 rings of an atom, 7 names and 7 paradises. There's no coincidence with Allah. Everything is all interrelated. So as soon as they begin to focus on the face, each to their darajat what Allah want to open for them, then haqiqat al-tawassul begins to open. And they describe haqiqat al-tawassul is intercession. Maybe also a better easier understanding is the ability to convey. If the servant is being trained on how to tafakkur, to be nothing, to focus upon that reality, and that reality begin to inspire the student, begin to bless the student, dress the student, then begin to open the reality of your ability to make the tawassul, to convey. So when you come to them for du'a, they're trying to understand and teach how they're understanding. That they merely go back into their tafakkur and they convey the du'a to the face that is directing to their face. They don't make a guess for a du'a, maybe you recite this, maybe you should recite this, maybe you should recite that. These whom Allah we described last night, they're like mobile phone. They hear, they see, they speak for that presence. That hadith is describing a mobile phone on earth. So as soon as this mobile phone you come into their presence for du'a, they don't have to guess anything, they don't have to even put themselves into it. They merely convey to the face that Allah directed them to, the haqqaiq that Allah directed them, convey, make your tawassul, convey what you have to convey. You don't have to say anything else, they heard it. They heard the concern of that insan, they heard the concern of that person. and the person was humble enough to ask them, and immediately like a rocket it's known. Now whether Allah want to grant it right away or not, it's not their business. They're merely here like a phone upon this earth. They surrender themselves, Ya Rabbi, use my hearing for you, use my eyes for you, use my breath for you. If you find any good in what I have to say, use my tongue for you. Let my hands to be of service to you and my feet to be of service to you. If Allah accepts and grants sincerity, they're like a mobile phone, empty of themselves as much as possible and conveying. You're coming into the presence of that phone, and then these awliyaullah, big awliyaullah, they begin to convey. And that's why they taught us to have good manners. You never know when you're in front of one of those cameras what type of things Allah may grant. And at the same time the worst is when you watch those hidden video programs where they have a camera and the guy is like beating somebody in the camera. Can you imagine like bad character in front of those videos? What up there is watching? So it means our life was about manners. If we should come across one of those cameras, then may Allah give us good character and then we'll be blessed by it. And then not to be caught with a bad action in front of one of those characters, because then that's played throughout the heavens. Prophet sees that footage, all the Sahabi see that footage. Our life is like there was a movie I described, if anyone's seen The Truman Show. Did you see the movie? Where Jim Carrey's living in a bubble and he thinks that's his whole world and everyone is an actor in his movie. It's no different. You think that these souls are not watching this earth? That all of a sudden something's closed for them? Allah inspired these movies for people to reflect that there are people watching from the world of souls. This dunya is like this, like a television show. They can see whatever they want to see, and everybody like in a bubble thinking they're doing things and nobody's watching. The humiliation of that show. He didn't know the whole world is watching him interact and humiliate himself. And they come and teach, no, it's the same, the world of light sees everything. So that tawajjuh begins to open and that haqqaiq begins to dress upon them, and then the realities of haqiqatul tawajjuh, haqiqatul ta'i wa haqiqatul irshad. The ta'i that they can be in many places at the same time, and that has to do with the duality of light. Although you see these people of light in their particle and physical form, that you have to know that they have a wave form. And the reason that most people can't operate that reality of the wave is because they're under observation. Means they didn't reach a reality in which Allah allowing them to operate as a wave. So the duality of light was the proof of this ta'i, of this ability to move and to be in many places at the same time. And they would describe and teach that in old days as a box. For us to understand, they would darken the room, they put a box and they punch one hole and put a candle. And you think the light is coming out of this one hole and you think that's all. No, if I punch another hole and another hole and another hole, as many holes as there are in this box, this candle light will shine through. It doesn't choose one hole and go out. If Allah give permission for your soul to be wherever Allah wants it to be, you're not limited to your physicality. So it means that their soul can be many places at the same time. They can be sitting with you and sitting in Madinatul Munawwar with Prophet, and you would find no difference in their character and who they are, whether it's on earth or within the 7 heavens. The amazing reality of light that is mind-boggling to people. And if all of that is opening, if Allah opening their juzba, opening their faiz, opening their tawassul, opening up their tawajjuh and the ability to connect with the face and convey their request, opening up this reality of ta'i, then begin the secrets of irshad and guidance. At that time the servant is given permission to give guidance. He's using these 7 powers in guiding insan towards their destination. We pray that Allah give us from these knowledges of awliyaullah, dress us from the haqqaiqs of their knowledges, and that to grant us sincerity inshaAllah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon, wassalamun al mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammadan Mustafa wa bi siri Surat al-Fatiha.